Hi, I'm Edgar Hernandez.
And I'm Nuri Robles. And this is
Bar Talking
Bar, your access to the heartbeat of New York City's bar and hospitality scene.
Hosted straight from the city that never sleeps, we sit down with bartenders, brands and ambassadors, hospitality pros, and cocktail lovers.
Whether it's the art of bartending, the hustle behind hospitality, or the wildest bar tales, expect raw conversations and industry secrets.
Listen to the people who pour your favorite cocktails and keep the nightlife alive.
If you love bars, spirits, and the stories that bring them to life, follow us, share, and subscribe to keep the conversations flowing.
The podcast that you didn't know you need.
New episodes weekly.
Welcome back to another episode. I'm Edgar Hernandez.
And I'm Nuri Robles.
And this is Bar Talking Bar. Your weekly podcast where we interview brand ambassadors, cocktail lovers,
bartenders,
chefs. We bring some industry secrets.
Muchos secretos.
All right. So then,
but, yes.
What you gonna say?
Like I always said, we have tonight another guest, another story, and definitely we are the best podcast in the world. No, I'm just joking. But we are trying to get everyone from New York City, and tonight we have the fortune to have a bartender that happens to be let's say a friend or a friend. So we're going to make friends tonight. What about you?
Brooklyn born, Brooklyn raised, and out of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Josh. Welcome, Josh. You're like,
yeah. Stand up.
So,
welcome to our podcast. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Thank you. We want to know more about Josh. I know we met you through Fabulous Sister, and then of course you've been in this hospitality for quite a while. But we want to know
just a few decades. That's all. Yeah. I know. I look young, but
yeah, very young.
Yeah.
I know when we first met, you were like, "Oh my God, there's no way that you're
a bartender. You look like
you're
17.
You're 36. Oh my God."
But yeah, tell the audience who you are.
I'm the lead bartender at One Hotel Brooklyn Bridge. So, if you're ever in the neighborhood and you want to stop by and say hello or, ask questions and figure out what kind of program we got going there, I'm there usually, fortunately, all the time. And, just,
If you win a Ramos feast, he's happy to have you.
Goddamn, Nuri, you have to bring that up. Yeah. Nobody likes to do that shit.
We just talked about this, and it's like, I would love to do a Ramos fizz if I had the right ingredients. Unfortunately, we don't carry egg white, so I would have to really, do some
magic.
To make some chemical magic going on there. But I'm not opposed to doing it, and I don't know if it's going to be the best, but it'll definitely be the best that I could do given the scenario that I'm working in. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Again, that was a very good diplomatic answer for a bartender. Approve.
I'm not opposed to doing any cocktail. I love doing cocktails. I love creating experience. I love being able to serve people what they want as long as they know what they want, because when they show up to the bar and they don't know what they want, I don't even know if anybody likes that. That's kind of weird. Hey, so what do you guys serve here? You know what? Actually, we sell jeans.
Yeah.
we don't serve anything here. You came to the wrong place.
Okay, so let's start with the basic question. How do you start working in the hospitality industry?
Oh man, I mean, it wasn't even bartending, to be honest with you. I was I was like 18, 19 years old, and a friend of mine hit me up one day, and he was just like, "Yo, I have this really cool opportunity for you if you're down. I know you're trying to make money and whatever." And at the time, I was a sales representative for New York Sports Club, actually. So I was working in the gym atmosphere and doing that, and I was making really good money doing sales, but during the 2008, the industry tanked, and it was time to make a change. Sales, any kind of commission sales weren't really doing well, so I needed something that was going to be a little bit more stable. Mm-hmm. So I started doing I was a concierge. You know, I got an opportunity, basically like doorman. Like if you understand what a doorman job is or a concierge in New York City, it was a union gig, and they were paying really well. And you know, at the end of the year, you got those cash tips, so that was also really nice. And it was just an opportunity for me to make a consistent income. And then years of doing that, we're talking about a decade of doing that. I realized very quickly, like, there's a ceiling, and young people don't really do that job. You know, like it's usually people who are trying to get their second, you know, retirement, you know, pension, 40s, 50s, ex-cops, all those guys. And I was, again, like 26, 27, 28 at the time when I hit my 10-year mark, and I already vested into that pension, and I realized there was a ceiling there, and I wanted more. And part of that industry, part of my job was recommending restaurants, recommending bars, recommending things to do, setting people up for, you know, their airport rides, and kind of like basically being a personal assistant to a building that housed 400 units. So we're talking about over 1,000 people. So I was navigating those experiences. And while I was there, I ended up actually becoming the head concierge there. And people would come up to me and, you know, expect me to do that thing for them. And, you know, I realized that I wanted to get behind the restaurant scene because I loved it so much. And I loved, you know, offering these people's opportunities to experience those things. But I also wanted to be on the other side of that. And I saw the growth potential. There were some people that lived in that building that owned restaurants. And I was like, you know, like I wanted to kind of do that. And they all told me the same thing. They're like, you know, you don't have any experience. And I didn't really know what that meant at the moment, right? Like, I didn't understand the value of the no. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of value in people saying no, although they know, you know, your ethic, what you're able to commit, and how you show up every day and you give the right energy. But sometimes you don't know things, right? And that means a lot, you know. And once you do have that knowledge, once you do get to that place where you're able to actually participate in something that's what you're trying to do in an effective way, right? Mm-hmm. In a productive way, in a way that means something. I think that then you understand the value of no. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's people now, you know, if I was a hiring manager, I would say no. I would say no, and not because they're not good people, but maybe this is not the right time, because you don't know certain things that need to be understood and experienced in order to be productive at what you're going to do.
Exactly.
So what do you think about mentorship?
I think mentorship is important, but I think there needs to be a foundation, right? Like, I think that some experience is important. Mm-hmm. I think mentorship, depending on where you are, right? Because there's very elevated scenes in New York City. There's an expectation of service. There's an expectation of hospitality. There's an expectation of what needs to get done. And if you hire somebody with no experience, if you hire somebody with, you know, no foundation, then, you know, there's a lot of disappointment with that, right? Like, you can mentor somebody, but then the learning curve it's overwhelming for anyone else. Just the overall, you know, the overall staff, and bringing somebody in that may not have experience and what that means to the staff. Right? Because there's already a culture that exists. And really, at that point, the question that you're asking yourself is like, is this person going to add value to that culture, or is it going to be chaos? Because they're going to be like, yo, like, this person's lenient. You know, we transitioned after 2020 from a situation where it's like people were getting tipped out based on their shifts to pool house, right? Like, that's a big transition, right? That means that, like, there's people living off of your back, right? Yeah. So if they're living off of your back, they're living off of your work, like, we all need to be able to show value in some way. And it's not to say that everybody has to be able to do all of the same things. We have to understand what our position is and what we're good at, and also recognize that in a way that's real and authentic, and be like, yo, like, you're good at talking and people, go do this. You're good at service, go do that. You're you're good at maybe the transition and organizing and whatever, like that's okay too. Like all those things are needed.
Yes.
Right? Especially behind a busy bar, especially in an environment where there's a lot of stresses. And, you know, I think what we don't account for are all the things that can go wrong. It's not about if, it's about when. They will go wrong, and it's like, who do you want to be in the shit with? Right? Do you want to be in the shit with somebody that you're mentoring? Or are you going to be in the shit with somebody who has a little bit of experience, enough to be able to anticipate what to do next without you having to say anything, because you're already dealing with so much.
Especially at a busy bar, like you mentioned.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I don't have a problem mentoring people, but I do think that a lot of people have trouble receiving criticism, right? Constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel also when it comes with mentorship, it depends also the space. When you have the space and the time and the staff to mentor someone, right? Like in my case, I work in a place that you can start with no experience, but they help you to, you know, grow up, but they have the room for it. There are places that, you know, even, you know, you have a good personality and everything, but we need someone that is ready because we don't have other people to help us. So they put you behind, right? So it's different when you also have the time to mentor someone, right? Like let's say, you know what, I want to help this person, and if you want, we can meet before, like half an hour, or afterward. But that means for you to be a mentor, you have to, you know, put that time that sometimes people don't have. Right?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. It's also realizing that, like, the time that you take to better other people, right, is an investment in those busy moments, right? Like, there's some people that want to learn, and they want to be bartenders. They want to understand the business aspect of owning a bar, owning a restaurant, and those are the people that you take the time with, you know, and asking those questions first are kind of the way that you save yourself heartbreak, expectation, and all of that, because there's so many people that walk into this industry and they're just like, this is easy, right? Like, this is, I see you do it, I can do it. And it's like, I'm doing it, and it took me thousands of hours and years, and me going home every day and crying in my bathroom and being like, why do I suck, and how do I learn how to do this? And you know what, like, I don't understand how to translate milliliters to ounces and grams to this. And it's like, what is even batching? It's like, you know, like, and why do I batch? When do I batch? What do I do? And I think the most important part of all of that is the question, right? Is the why. I think that if you speak to somebody and you can ask them, why do you want to know this? Right? That's the most important question that would lead you into a direction where you're either knowing that you're going to invest in this person, or you're knowing that you're immediately wasting time with this person.
And that also comes with part of the training package, you know, because if you are, as an establishment, I'm talking about this as a different point of view. If you have somebody who's a new hire and somebody who's going to come and, you know, be mentored, in this case, be trained, how do we transition that? You know, do you actually let them roll, like, within the same day? Because this is what happened in 2020 during the pandemic, you know, the short staff, and we were hiring like a lot of restaurants, you know, this happened a lot in the city. And some people were just, you know, let go with no experience, no training, no like social skills per se, because, you know, in this industry, it's not only selling you a glass of wine or whiskey. It's also like the hospitality part. Like, what are the steps of service? Yes. What is the hospitality part of it? And you cannot train anyone, like, you know, how to be hospitable. That's just personal.
Dude, you could have said it any better. I mean, like, without 2020 happening the way that it did, I don't think I would be where I am. I was different. I knew my why. I knew where I wanted to go. I had a very clear vision of what my end result was, and the fact that nobody wanted to work gave me the ability to crush it. I was the fucking, you know what I mean? The one that just
Did everything.
slid through. I slid through because I was willing to just be abused. I was willing to be abused. I was willing to learn. And I had the fastest ladder of growth. I went in there and I put my ego aside and I just fucking ate shit. I ate shit for years.
Mm-hmm.
Until I was given the opportunity, because nobody else wanted to work, to do the job. And then through doing the job and through the reps and through the situations and then dealing with people and dealing with staff and dealing with management, it was like, you know, I feel like my learning curve was so much shorter, in addition to the fact that I was older and I was very like specific about what I wanted to do. I already knew. I was like, I want to bartend, right? I want to be behind the bar. Mm-hmm. But I knew that in that moment, some of the questions that I had to ask myself that were super important were, how do I do everything else? Because if I can't bartend, right, and know what a server is supposed to do, or what a bar back is supposed to do, or what a food runner is doing, or what the chef is doing, or how the chef gets their food and their product, or there's so many questions, right, that literally lead you up to the point where maybe that day, if you don't walk in and you don't have a conversation with your head chef as a bartender and your servers about what is 86th, what you have, what ingredients you're missing, what happened that day with delivery, like, are you even a bartender? You know what I mean? Like, the questions are what drives me to a point where it's like, I need to know these things to be as efficient as possible and make everyone's job easier, because in the moments where we're the busiest, the last thing that any of us want to deal with.
86.
You didn't know. Why did they're gonna ask you? They're gonna ask. So you didn't know we only had 3 Modelos? You didn't know that. You didn't. Why you didn't know? You didn't ask anybody? You didn't know that we were 86 on, you know, this chicken? You didn't know? Why are you putting this in?
Yeah, it's the power of communication.
So, like, it's not only the power of communication, it's also the power of wanting to know, mm-hmm. right? Because we can walk into our jobs and just do our jobs. It doesn't have to be that big of an issue. It doesn't have to be that big of a problem. But what we don't realize is how much it affects everything else. Right? Like, are we giving the best hospitality possible when we walk up to a table and we try to sell a chicken or a Modelo that's 86? And then how much time is that wasted, and how does that translate into dollars? Mm-hmm. Right? Like, these are very small things that can happen all at once to multiple tables that would cost us hundreds of dollars.
Yeah. And also it comes, I think, with including communication, it comes from the top one, right, which is the management. And it's very true what you said. It's like, maybe the place, I don't know if some places they don't have lineup, but usually you have a lineup before service. Is when the management tells you what the kitchen is, how it's going to be the service, if you have specials, if something is 86, and they couldn't have, you know, the time to switch menus, so you have to explain the guests, right? But also sometimes, for some reason, you're the head bartender, and sometimes there are certain positions that they don't go to lineup because they have to prep during service and lineup, and you have to find a moment to go and ask, you know, like, oh, why is 86 tonight, right? Like you said, if you don't have that willingness, you can be prepping and it's like, oh, whatever. And then you find out like, oh, we just have 3 Modelos. Oh, I didn't tell the manager that we only have 3 Modelos, so they can put a count, right?
I agree with that, but I also feel like my debate with that is, if you're there to make money, right, and you're there to, you know, make as much money as possible in a time that makes sense for you and your situation, and you don't care about anything else, you still need to know the answers to these questions, even if they don't come to you, because they're the same questions that need to be asked every day. Right? Like these are standard restaurant things that when you walk into a shift, if you don't know this and no one told you, you need to ask. These are standardized. What food is everything? Is every food available? Is every drink available? What are we low on? That's it. That's it. It's 3 things. What drinks are available? What food is available? What are we low on? Are we 86 anything? That's it.
I will add, how many covers are we going to start with?
That also, but then that in itself can be, nobody can predict that, right? Like there's days I would walk in and they're like, yo, we got fucking 10 covers. And I'm like, okay, good, we're fine. And it's like so understaffed, right? Still cooking, right? I'm still doing my thing, whatever. Because I know that the people that I'm working with that night have all the information necessary to be as efficient and precise as possible, to not waste time and to actually work and do what they're needed to do. As a bar back, you know, I mean, they come behind me and it's like Medusa, they got fucking, an extra set of hands, and I'm fucking shaking up here, they're shaking down there. We don't know what they're doing down there, but I'm doing this up here, and they're moving, and we're moving, and it's a beautiful thing to actually witness when you go to a bar and you see everybody. Like just,
it's a dance.
It's so beautiful, bro. It's like Broadway. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, we have the anxiety because we work in a restaurant, but we go in and we're like, ding, 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 and we hear the fucking kitchen bell. We're like, oh shit, should I get it? Should I help them? No, they don't need help. They're fine. And it's like they bring it out. And it's like, that's my chicken. I thought the chicken was 86. They said the chicken was there. Somebody brought chicken. Did they get this chicken from KFC? Where did the chicken come from? God damn, that's my Modelo. They said they had no Modelo. Somebody went to the store. God damn, I love it. And it's like, there's things that happen where when you see a good staff and you witness a good staff, you witness them, you know, almost at their worst and then peaking at their best in that same moment. And you're just like, wow, hey, man, do you need a job? Yeah, I have those moments, bro. I'm not even a hiring manager, but it's just like, I would love to recommend you, you know? And it's like, I try to motivate my staff to see those things. Sometimes we go out after work, you know, for like a drink or two, and it's like I have this very obsessive compulsion to just like talk about work because I'm not really there to chop it up in that way because we're not, you know, like we don't really have anything else relative. So, you know, I know it can come off a certain way sometimes where it's just like, oh man, this motherfucker's talking about work, you know. But it's also like, that's the only opportunity I'm ever going to see you outside of work in a space where I could just be like, yo, if we just did this one thing a little bit different,
yeah,
right, we could really crush it. And there's, you know, I think in those moments, there's a little bit of a disconnect because of the time, because of the placement, because of the conversation. But then a couple of months will go by and it was, you know, they'll come back to me. They'll be like, yo, Josh, remember that one thing you told me like a couple of months ago when we had those drinks? Like, I understand now. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm so fucking like flabbergasted. I'm just like, yes. And I'm like fucking doing around. I'm running around. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like a little kid again because like it matters so much that I had that one moment to make a difference in somebody else's thought process. Because we all come from different places, right? Mm-hmm. We all come from different upbringings. We all have different influences. We all have, you know, different ways of thinking, right? In addition to age gaps.
Oh, that's another one.
So, like, it's hard. Me at 36 having a conversation with somebody at 23 is wildly different. I didn't even recognize that until I had to do it from a point of leadership. And I'm just like, oh, shit, we are not at all the same. But that's okay. And that's okay. And you are where you are, and I am where I am. And it's like part of me being where I'm at and what I had to learn is patience.
Mm-hmm.
right? Understanding that you might not get it today. You might not get it tomorrow, but the consistency of what I do when I pull up, and I do it every day, day in and day out, the same way, right? By not only speaking it, but showing it, will then create the culture.
Mm-hmm.
So take us back where you were told no. Remember you mentioned.
So
and then
yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you the exact spot, but it was actually down. I worked as a concierge on Wall Street, and there was a spot that I used to frequent down the block, and you know, it was a cocktail bar, and I really wanted to work there, and I was really cool with the owner and whatever, and you know, I asked him, and he legitimately was like, "Yo, get a bar back and job somewhere else, and I'll hire you here." Like, just do that for like 6 months, and then I'll hire you as a bar back here. And then I started to apply, and I tried to get jobs, and nothing. It was crickets. We were talking about, what, 2017? Yeah, man, it was just tough. And then I got very fortunate because there was somebody I was really close to that gave me the opportunity. They were like, oh, you've been a concierge for X, Y, and Z. Like, you could be, like, our doorman at this, like, dive bar. And I was like, all right, cool. So I ended up being that doorman who just checked IDs or whatever. And what ended up happening there, which I never told you guys this story, but what ended up happening there was like one night I was working like super late and I was, you know, doing my little doorman thing, checking IDs. And there was a little bit of a fight broke out, right, between two people. One of the dudes that was involved in that, you know, that fight was a dude that I knew from the neighborhood. He was blood. And then there was another, like, white guy or whatever. And he was basically saying that the white guy, you know, tried to talk to his girl or whatever the case is. And one of the owners was there that night, and he tried to break up the fight. So I got in between, and I tried to split up the owner. And the dude who was blood, like, I knew him for years, right? He was... I wouldn't say a friend. He was an acquaintance. It was just somebody that I just knew from the neighborhood because, you know, Brooklyn born and raised, you know people, whatever. Mm-hmm. He was just ready to go with this guy. So I picked him up and I took him to the ground and I just hugged him, just bear hugged him. And I'm like, yo, like.
My baby.
Yeah. Not even that. I was just like, oh, man, just chill, man. You wild, man.
Wilding out, bro.
Chill. Give me a hug, bro. You ain't never got a hug before. Just chill. And he was cool. We were on the ground, bro. I could have kissed that motherfucker on the cheek. We would have been straight. No. His girl came from behind, right? And she thought I was attacking him. She didn't understand there was already, we were good. And I was just trying to help him out, right? And she fucking stabbed me, bro. She stabbed me 3 times in the back, bro.
Oh,
yeah. And one of those actually punctured my lung. Yeah. So I didn't know that because, you know, adrenaline or whatever. So I thought somebody was just hitting me. So I pushed her back. I saw it was her. I was like, get off me. What's wrong with you? I'm just trying to hug you. I'm just trying to hug your man, whatever. Come on, bro. We're trying to have a moment. Chill. You get involved. Chill. And, I rolled over to the side and I got up and I felt my back getting wet. And I was like, what is this? And it was just blood. It was just blood running down my back. And I looked back and I was like, oh, shit. This motherfucker stabbed me. So, yeah, man, that happened. And I ended up going to the hospital and it was like a whole fucking thing. And, you know, I almost died that night. You know, but luckily enough, didn't, right, still here. And, you know.
Kicking it.
Yeah, and from that point on, right, like, the owners of that establishment, they own, like, 4 restaurants, 4 bars, and they just, you know what I mean, they let me do my thing. I ended up going from bartending to serving to managing, and then that's how I ended up at the one hotel, you know. So, like, fast forward, it was... You know, it was a very difficult time, and it was a difficult situation, but, you know, everybody said, oh, you should have sued them, you should have sued that person. I was like, you want me to sue a blood thug from Brooklyn, and then you want me to sue a person who tried to give me an opportunity to work at a spot I had no experience, and they were trying to level me up. And then it's like you don't. I feel like everybody thinks about the immediate gratification, right? Like people, they knew what I could have done. Everybody knows how I could have taken that.
Yeah.
But where would I be?
And also, I feel like even if I disagree or agree, it's at the end of the day is your personal story and it's your journey that you chose, right? And
Yeah.
and I think, like you said,
I mean, it was calculated, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's my journey, and it was the way I dealt with things. And a lot of people, I'll tell you, a lot of people didn't agree with it, but they didn't understand the capacity of the situation.
Oh, and we are so lucky, honestly, to hear your story today, and for the audience also at the same time. We are very lucky, and we want to say cheers.
Oh, I got nothing left. I don't
All
think.
right, so
I got a little
I'm
bit.
not sure.
We'll do
Yeah.
what? Oh,
Just
okay.
a little cheer.
Yeah.
little
Chiquito.
cheer.
Yeah.
Chiquito.
Cheers for your
Cheers.
life, for every
Cheers.
life.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I
For
appreciate
fun.
you. I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Cheers
No, I just
to life.
It was
a long puncher.
Nah, it was legitimately a game changer for me too, because it changed the way that I handled situations also, right? I got kids now and whatever, and it's like there's also, I'm not trying to get in trouble or arrested or any of those things anymore, because it's like there's so much more value in where I am today versus then, my perspective, and just how I operate as a human being. Like, you mentioned communication earlier and how important those things were, and it's like I'm trying to learn the power of words.
Yeah.
Try to learn the power of being able to anticipate and add value to people's lives, because I know that not only is it going to make my life easier, but it's also going to make their life easier, right? Like one of my biggest mantras, I go to sleep thinking about this shit every day, and I don't have any tattoos, but if I ever got a tattoo, right, it would be this. The way you do some things is the way you're going to do everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that means you can do a job that you never anticipated yourself doing in your life. You may hate that shit. But to do it at its best capable ability is going to allow you to translate that energy into every single thing you do.
Yeah.
You show up every day and you do something that you fucking hate, and you do it at your best potential, you're going to find the thing you love. Because you may not know it now, but eventually you will bump into it, and when you're ready to bump into it, you will have the energy to receive it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, because when you don't like something, it pushes it. Even your guts say that this is not for me, and then you get anxious, and that's a body response of saying something is not right. So that's when you push yourself to do well, I don't want to do this. So I have to find the way to learn this so I can jump to another situation that I really feel enjoyable.
I would say
that's
get
also
comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think getting comfortable with the uncomfortable, I think it's vague. It's too vague.
Mm-hmm.
Not to downplay what that means, but I think that has meaning when you have meaning.
Yeah, that's
Does that make sense? You can get comfortable with the uncomfortable when you know what you're doing. Then be uncomfortable with the uncomfortable. When you don't know at all what you want or what your why is,
not the why.
or what you're trying to achieve, how are you supposed to get comfortable with the uncomfortable?
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know where you are. You're just an amoeba, bro. You're just flowing. You're just existing. You're a germ, bro. You're a germ, bro. You're a germ at that point. You're just jumping from surface to surface with no purpose, just getting motherfuckers sick.
Sick of
You fucking, you know what I mean? That's it. That's it.
So going back to obviously this tragedy, because it was a tragedy.
No, it wasn't a tragedy. It wasn't it was a necessary event for growth.
Yeah, but
it wasn't a tragedy
but
because I'm
it's-
still alive.
Yeah.
It would be a tragedy if I died.
No,
Because guess what? My mom would be like, but yes, papi has so much potential. Ay, Yo, honestly though, like in that moment when I was in the hospital bed, and, that wasn't the first time that she's seen me in the hospital bed. That wasn't the first time that, she's encountered me being in a position of like maybe life-threatening, right? And just watching her like go through that when I was going through it, it made me realize that like I don't want to do this anymore. Like not for myself, not only for myself, but more importantly for her. Like I don't want her to feel worried about me, although she always will, because she knows I'm a little crazy, and that's fine. Like nobody has ever done anything that mattered has never been sane. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But I want my crazy to be a little bit more calculated. I want my crazy to not affect the people that I care about the most in a bad way.
So you mentioned that you have kids, right? So when in that transition of like working, when that happened, when did you became?
Man, that was pretty early on too, man. That was immediately after
COVID.
That was immediately after getting stabbed. Yeah, when you get stabbed, you get laid a lot. It is what it is. And the girl that I was with is the same person I'm with now, and she was like, "Wow, he's about to die. I should probably have his kids." You know what I mean? I gotta make him live a little longer. Just in case he tries to die again. I don't know. So, I got a beautiful daughter and a son, and I'm so blessed. And I think that people who are in the industry, who have kids, like, those are the most hardworking people I've ever met in my life. Like, I've known barbacks that they're professional barbacks. They've been barbacks for 20 years, and they have 14 kids. And I was like, one of my jobs immediately after having that job in which I got stabbed, which I was still working for that company, was getting the opportunity to work at a club. So I worked at a club as a barback, and the club was Webster Hall at the time.
Oh, cool.
And one of the barbacks there, this guy was like easily like 45, right? 20 years of barbacking experience. He was like the head barback, whatever. And it was such a difficult fucking job. It was so physically demanding. Like, this guy was carrying crates of fucking, like, 15 bottles in each hand through a crowd, up, like, 5 levels of steps, up and down and up and down. And I consider myself an athlete, bro. I've been an athlete my entire life, and I could not keep up with that dude. And this guy was fucking drunk the entire time. I'm like... Dude. I don't even want to drink because I'm scared. He's carrying like fucking bus tubs of bottles through a crowd like that with his hands above his ear through a concert, right?
Where people's jumping up and down.
Bro, we're talking about 20,000 people or whatever to a satellite bar. Didn't drop shit. And then would come down and go take a shot. I'm like... Yo, this is insane, right? Yeah, like this is absolutely insane. Like this guy's a monster, bro. Like, why are you not a fucking professional athlete?
Yeah.
I don't know how you're gonna translate this into any kind of like functional athleticism, but like. I'm sure we can figure it out.
Oh, I think Pernell Branca does the bartender, the barback championships. Like,
what the? Yeah.
Yeah.
I never even heard that.
He'll be a champion.
I'm going to call that guy.
Yeah.
His name is Humphrey. 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 Bruh, I don't know. You probably don't have social media, but if your kids see this, right? Because one of them has got to be at least 26 or whatever. Yeah, bro. Like, tell your father that he needs to do this thing. Make some money. I don't know. Whatever.
Come teach some people.
Yeah. But, like, those dudes, honestly, like, those guys were the best barbacks, right? Like, they've been doing it. They made their decision. They're like, I don't want to talk to people. I don't want whatever. I have this singular focus. But I think the way that translates into other stuff is, like, by choosing, right? Making the choice. Outwardly making the choice. Like, I want to be the best at this. I need to figure out how to do this. Yeah. Then you learn how to build those muscles.
Yeah, and I mean, especially when somebody's doing it like over and over.
Oh yeah, he had muscles in his body, right? That I've never used before. that I was trying to use, and it was like, fuck you. There's no way you gonna keep up with this man. And I did it for months. And I sucked. I sucked so bad, not because I didn't want to do it, but because I was like, I don't think I can do this.
And
like, I was going home and I was like,
my body hurts.
Bro, I was hurt, physically hurt. I ain't never hurt like that in my life. I played all kinds of sports. I've done all kinds of things. I can run for miles. There's ways behind the bar that your body has to move and do things that are so fucking awkward that nobody ever thinks about, nobody ever talks about. And when you have to do it, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You do this every day for hours.
Yeah.
For years.
And for years, decades. You know, we were talking about bar athleticism earlier, and it's like nobody understands what it's like to do hours and hours and hours of shaking and then emotional connection by talking and selling and then dealing with a staff and the chaos that ensues every single day. It takes very, very special type of people to do that in a great way.
It is. It does.
It takes, and you know, I'm very fucking privileged to be on this cast with you guys, because it's like I respect you guys so much because of that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm here as somebody that looks up to you. Like, I'm here as somebody that still wants to be you. You know, like I've heard so many good things, not even from my sister, but about people that know you. Not because I've asked, but because I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to do this podcast. And I know those guys. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, shit. These motherfuckers are big.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but low key. This thing is way bigger than maybe you even understand. Like, there's so many people that know you. I don't know if there's anybody I don't know that doesn't know you. It's so crazy. And, you know, we popped up at that, you know,
event, yeah,
the Sotal tasting or whatever. And it's like that was one of my first opportunities to get out. I got kids. Like, I could barely get out the house. You know, like me explaining to my lady, I'm like, yo, these things are important not because I want to go and get fucked up. I'm trying to learn. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to progress. I'm also trying to show value and show face to real industry people. I think you got to put yourself around the people that you want to become. Yep. That's very important.
And
that's true.
Thank you so much for your kind words. Actually, that's the reason we're doing this, because we love this industry. We look up also at you guys, and it's very important to have a voice, because it's not like we're doing something that nobody does. It's just different in a way that, you know, we want to show what is happening in New York City, what it's been changing during COVID, before COVID, and now. It's like you say, it's generations that also are different from us, blah, blah, blah. But that's the reason that also mentioned to Edgar that there are people that they go to work in the industry just for a paycheck, right? But there is people like us that we really see this as a profession, that we care about education, we care about other industry peers. And what amazed me is that, for example, in your case, you work as a lead bartender, you have a family, you know, like you have to think about, okay, I have to learn how you're going to manage your time for your job, for your family, for you, for your friends, for, you know, you have to find specific spaces in your heart. So one of the topics that sometimes we don't talk is the dads in this industry. Like, you know, there is main thematic focus on females would have children. But also, we don't talk about males that they have children. How you manage that?
I mean, it's you don't.
You just do it.
You don't manage anything. But my goal is to be able to show up. Mm-hmm. I may not be in my best capacity. I may not be able to give them the best version of myself. I think that what I'm doing right now is of so much value that it directly affects who they're going to become and what they're going to do with their life. Because I think that where I get the how you do something is how you're going to do everything is watching my father for almost my entire life do a job that he cares nothing about, but do it at his highest potential. He was a bus driver. You know, he did these charter buses, you know, Peter Pan, Greyhound, stuff like that, from city to city, and he did that for a very, very long time. Up until just recently, you know, he lives down in Philly, and he was driving school buses, like kids to school. He was such a professional at what he did. You know, like there was so much value behind what he did, and he spoke so highly of it, even though I knew he hated the shit. To me, when I think about that, and I think about the sacrifice necessary for him to do a job that he may not have loved in order to feed a family and show up every day. There would be days, my father had me when he was 45. You know, I'm 10, he's 55. I'm 15, he's 60. To have the energy at 45 to deal with a kid that at the time was undiagnosed, maybe ADHD, definitely ADHD for sure. I've never been on medication because of him, and I thank him every single day because I've seen what medication does to people. A lot of the times it's just your mind being overloaded. You know, you just need an opportunity to just get shit out. Mm-hmm. You just need an opportunity to just express yourself without necessarily hearing anything in return. Like, one of my biggest things my mother hates when I go to her house is, like, I go in there and I'll open every cabinet door. It's just, I personally, like, if I had my choice of building a kitchen, everything would be glass. Even my fridge would be glass. I want to be able to see through it without having to open it so that I know it's there. And it's the same thing even in a bar. You know, like, that's why a bar to me makes so much sense, is because I can walk into the space and see what I have. I can walk into a walk-in and see what I have. Otherwise, well, fuck it, we leaving these doors open because I need to come back. If I need to come back and look at what I have.
Or sometimes you buy twice the same.
But it's also, like, one of the first, like, signs of somebody that has ADD or ADHD. Also, just, like, cutting people off. These are things that I've practiced over time that I've gotten better at. Like, if you would have met me 10, 15 years ago, like, we wouldn't have been able to do this pod. I would just be talking the entire time like I am now. But I'd be cutting you off instead, and it would just be fucking awkward. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, it would be super awkward. Like,
no, but the thing about this podcast is, like, we want the guests to talk, and
no doubt.
That's why we keep the questions at a minimum. So, you know, they hear you. They
no, I get that.
And that's who you're expressing, you know, your personal.
But you wouldn't even be able to ask a question. I'd just be like, I got this. Actually, you guys leave.
Hold on.
Hold up. This bar talk is mine now. No, get out of here.
Josh talking Josh.
Boom. Yeah, exactly. And, you know, it would have been super difficult. And it's not because of, like, that would have been my intention. It's just, I just feel like there's a lot of misrepresentation of what that is now, just because, you know, people want to get a script or whatever, and it's like, you know, maybe some people need it, and that's fine, right? Maybe some people actually that helps them every day. But there's a lot of side effects. There's a lot of side effects to everything that you put into your body that is unnatural.
Thank you so much for mentioning that, because I feel like now, thankfully also for new generations, that they open up about certain topics that before were like kind of like hidden or not interested, because people are kind of the stereotype that if people are, you know, have a syndrome or a mental health problem and they are medicated, it's a problem. Or if they are not medicated, it's a problem, right? But nowadays we have more protection in that sense. We also have more openness about talking how you feel. You know, we try to normalize now that it's not wrong to say things. The other day, we went to visit Erin Gabriela, Time Bar.
Time Bar, yeah. So she's the new bar manager? Or
Yes.
She's there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what impressed me was that I opened the menu, which is really cool. It starts with saying that the bartenders are no medicated persons with ADH.
Ah.
You know, so
That's interesting.
yeah, it's very interesting because obviously English is my second language. So I said maybe I
Wait,
need-
are they? Is that like a? Is that this like a? That's like their standard? What?
yeah. So
Because like to put that on a menu is a lot.
So that's what I'm saying. That for me, it was like, am I understanding something different, or is really they're talking about their
Is that like the whole staff?
Probably, I'm not sure if it's the whole staff, but definitely there are people there working there, and they focus on that. Like, it's openly say it, they're proud of it, and I think they focus on like, we're not medicated, but we have this, this physical situation. So I think that's what I'm saying. It's very important that nowadays people understand that there are different, personas, people,
Personas.
Personas.
Gente.
But thank you so much for bringing that up because, sometimes, and that's another part here that we mentioned, is that you see people, but you don't know where they're walking through. It could be, situation. And then it helps you to also understand the industry, how hard it's like I mentioned, you have kids, and probably people see you there like super happy, but you also in your head is like, oh, tomorrow I have to take them to the school, or I have to do this, so I cannot go out because I have to, be with my kids.
That's
earlier.
just a really interesting. That's a really interesting thing to put on a menu. But also, I feel like the people that would be the best at this job is
ADHD.
because they consistently need, something to stimulate them, right, in order to be focused. And I don't know if people understand what that means, because it's not like someone needs a bunch of different tasks. No, it's just that like they need to have something that stimulates them, but also be able to like immediately do that thing in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually probably some of the most precise people you've ever met.
Mm-hmm.
They just do some weird shit on the side. That's all.
That's
and
true.
maybe they talk a lot. That's it.
That's a good thing. Talking is good. By bar talking bar. Also, folks, if you are watching us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. If you guys are listening to us on the podcast via audio, like anywhere you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, Apple, whatever, all of the above, make sure you follow us, subscribe, like, and comment. Also, Josh is going to be here. His Instagram handle is, and where you can find him.
This Boricua Be Loco. You can find me at Harriet's Bar, BK, in Dumbo, New York. So if you're in Brooklyn, if you're in Dumbo, if you want to come by, enjoy some rooftop vibes, we have a beautiful bar. We overlook the entire lower Manhattan,
It's
Brooklyn
beautiful.
Bridge, Statue of Liberty, all that good stuff. And I would love to treat you to a Ramos Dream Gin Ramos Fizz. Gin Ramos Fizz. Yeah.
He said,
Yeah. It's gonna take me a while to make it, but I'm gonna make it right.
Okay, so this is like a question. No, you know what? Do you have the little? Yeah. So I have this.
Before we go, we're going to play a game.
We're
We're going to play a game. You want to play a game? A dice game.
You can do the dices. And,
Okay. All right.
And then we'll find out what is your cocktail of preference, or if you have a recipe.
No,
Yeah.
I don't have a cocktail preference, but I probably know how to make most of them. I want to say all. I know how to make all of them. Not well, very well.
Agua de tamarindo.
Horchata.
Horchata with gin.
Yeah. All
you got?
right. It is
Oh
Rum.
shit! Stirred
Smoky.
rum smoky.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. You're gonna ask me what I'm gonna use, or
What would you do?
I think I would do a dark rum. Probably something like like maybe like a dark Bacardi or like an Appleton or maybe like let's see. On the spot here. Let's see.
It's okay.
No, but you can come up with.
I would do like a dark, like an Appleton, a Diplomatico, something like that, and then maybe like if I'm gonna do smoky, I'd have to do like a Sotol or like a Mezcal.
Yeah.
If I had to choose a Mezcal.
There's so many out there.
It would probably... I mean, Ilegal is like generally just... If I want to do smoke, that's it. I wouldn't use Dos Hombres because I don't even feel like that's
Dos
a
Hombres.
legit mezcal. Not because of the company or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just... I'm talking about flavor.
Yeah.
Just flavor. I'm not talking about the company. I'm just talking about flavor. The way it hits the palate and whatever. It's just not smoky enough for me. If I'm gonna do Espadine, it's gonna be a smoky. It's gonna probably be Ilegal because it's just forward smoke. So I'd probably do like Diplomatico. I like the fact that Diplomatico is overproof. And if it's stirred, to me, that means it's gonna be something like a Manhattan martini kind of thing. So I would do maybe like a Diplomatico mezcal spray, right? Maybe to give it a little body, I'd probably muddle something. At this point, you could probably do. I've been working a lot with. I'm trying to say not basil. I wouldn't do basil. I'll probably do. What do you guys think? I want to muddle something herbal.
I will do my case, like a green pepper.
Oh,
Just
a green pepper, just a regular green pepper.
Because I don't want anything
so
spicy.
Like people like beat me up for this all the time, but it's like I like to muddle fresh veggies in some of my stirred cocktails because it gives like it hits the palate differently.
Yeah.
It like introduces the rest of the flavors before the flavors exist. And that's what I really love about muddling a fresh vegetable inside of a stirred drink.
Yeah.
The reason why I would do like just a mezcal spray is to give the nose, but not I don't want it to hit.
The overpower.
I don't want it to hit hard. I'd probably do that. Diplomatico, I'd probably do like maybe like a touch of pineapple, maybe like a little bit Campari to give it like a complexity, a little bit of orange, blood orange, whatever. And then just the spray on top would be fire. Garnish, what we thinking?
I would just keep it simple.
Yeah, just like that?
Yeah, and then probably add a little bit of saline solution.
Because then it'll bring everything up. Right,
just like a half dash, not even one.
Boom.
Well, that's just...
No, that's fine.
Yeah, no. But like what you're saying is good. It's I mean, I can't wait to taste that cocktail if you ever made it.
You got to come by.
Maybe this is going to be your R&D process.
Not even. This will just be our process.
I have it on video.
The next time you pull up to the job, we'll video that, and then you can post it. And then,
all right.
We'll do the you trying it. Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah,
I think that's a plan.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Josh. Thank you for
so
tonight.
Much for coming
today.
in.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for the
you.
story.
It was amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I love it because it's super Brooklyn.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I apologize.
No.
I'm born and raised here. It's I'm not, I came in here and I was like, I'm not gonna be politically. I'm gonna be politically incorrect as much as possible. That was my only goal. I didn't even have a script. I just did it. Yeah,
it was very fulfilling.
Yeah.
You fulfilled that goal. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
You.
I remind you again. Tip your bartender, and also you can donate through Buy Me a Coffee. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, the audience, everybody. Thank you, Edgar, for another episode.
Thank you.
See you next week, next time, or whatever.
See you later, alligator.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace, love.
Sayonara, amigos.